if you look at this little planet we live on, it's like a teeny speck compared to the universe. And then there's knowledge of another universe, a universe beyond this universe, where actually is the exact opposite of this universe. Because this universe is temporary, is filled with suffering, and it's filled with ignorance. But the spiritual world is eternal, it's filled with knowledge, and it's filled with bliss. And so there's actually there's detailed information in the Vedic scriptures about the spiritual world. And it tells us things there, how it is there compared to how it is here. And there's something called kalpavriksha trees, or desire trees. And these trees you can desire anything you like to eat, and they will supply it for you simply by desiring it. So it's just fruit. And there's also these cows that supply unlimited milk. And something called Chintamani also, that's in one of the palaces in the spiritual world. And it's kind of like a sorcerer's stone or a philosopher's stone. And it's like alchemy, and you touch it to anything, and it turns into gold. So there's all these detailed descriptions of the spiritual world. And the reason we talk about this is because sometimes we think that, everything's going okay, and this world has a lot to offer, which it does. But to use our true knowledge, looking at the nature that it's temporary, that it has a beginning and an end. So there's an analogy that you're walking along, and you're enjoying, and you're playing with your friends in a loving way, and you're having wonderful relationships where there's no selfishness involved, where you're simply exchanging love with one another, and there's no other intention or motive. And you fall as a well, and you're falling down the well, and you're thrashing around, and you reach out, and you grab in the darkness, and you hold on. And as you hold on, you're hanging there, your eyes start to adjust. And you look down at the bottom of the well, and there's a cobra at the bottom of the well. And then you look up, and there's a tiger leaning over from the top. And you notice you're hanging on to two roots. And you see there's a white mouse on one root starting to chew through. And there's a black mouse on the other root starting to chew through.
That's a bad place to be in.
Now, interesting thing is that also you look up and there's a tree above the well. And there's bees. And there's honeycomb. And some honey starts to drip down. And you see it dripping in front of you. So you reach out and you catch the honey on your tongue. Do you want to be in that situation?
I'm a really big fan of honey, so I probably wouldn't mind.
I'm allergic to honey, so no.
Well, that's kind of compared to the situation we're in, because we're trying to enjoy. The honey tastes good. The honey tastes great, but the black mouse is like the night, and the white mouse is like the day, and as the days are passing, we're getting closer and closer. At the bottom of the well, there's a cobra that represents our life force. And the top of the well is the tiger looking over, and Durga, the destroyer of the universe, rides on the tiger. And so we're in a very precarious situation, and we all experience suffering, and in the future there's going to be suffering. And right now things may be okay, and this is not to instill fear at all. That's not the goal is not to instill fear. The thing is that to use our knowledge to understand that we are in a very precarious position. And I was kind of meditating today. So how do you get out of that situation? And the idea is that the guru, the spiritual master with the knowledge, can pull you up out of the situation, out of the material existence, and take you back to the spiritual world. So I was thinking of a hovercraft comes over, and the guru puts down a rope, and all you have to do is hold on. You listen to the instructions of the guru, and the guru will pull you up. And he'll pull you and take you to a better place. It's actually described that we don't belong here. We by our nature, we are eternal, filled with knowledge and filled with bliss. And so we don't want to be in a place filled with ignorance, suffering that's temporary. So, can we enjoy here? Yeah, there's different types of enjoyment here. But it has a beginning and an end, and it doesn't lead to true happiness. You can satisfy the body in so many different ways. There's so much variety of sense enjoyment. But ultimately everybody's craving something, and it's not becoming fulfilled. And it's like having a beautiful cage with a bird inside you. Polish the cage every day, but you never feed the bird. And the bird is described as it's like our soul, and we are the soul. And the soul is within the body, and the soul is the energy. The consciousness is the energy that emanates from the soul, that spreads all over the body. And the difference between the spiritual world and the material world is that in the material world, we are souls inhabiting temporary material bodies. And in the spiritual world, our bodies are the same as us. That's why when the Krishna descends, when God descends, it says in the Bhagavad Gita that God comes again and again and again in different ways, different times. He comes for different ways of attracting His devotees, who is all of us. All of us are His devotees in different aspects. Like there's variety. God loves variety. God made 65,000 types of beetles. Why couldn't He just made 500? 65,000 varieties of beetles. And so all these different relationships that we have with God, they're called a rasa, or a taste. A particular type of taste and relationship we have with God. And each one is totally unique. Every snowflake is completely different. So every relationship between us and the whole, just like the organs are meant to serve the whole body. Or if you water the root of a tree, the whole plant flourishes. So if we understand our proper position as one of service, and so we understand the service by service. For instance, think about, have you ever seen like maybe homeless people out on the side of the curb? And you look at them, and you're thinking, they're not doing anything. They don't have to go to work. Why aren't they more happy? But we can tell that they're suffering, even though they won't do anything. But we understand that if we go to work and we take care of ourselves, we can provide for a wife and kids and a family. We understand that this brings more fulfillment. So this is called the mode of goodness. The mode of goodness, understanding that through service we can become fulfilled more than just hanging around and doing nothing. So everybody, the nature of the soul is to be active and to serve. And so the key thing is that the service that we do should be something that is in our nature. It should be something that we love to do. Materially, even in the material world. Think of something that you love to do, and that your occupation, what are you good at? Well, what talents do you have? If you could choose anything in the world you would want to do, what would it be? And so you think about your propensities and what God's given you. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, work according to your abilities, work according to your propensities. And so if you do that, then that's the first step in your service. But just by working and doing something you love, say that you love to write, and you write all kinds of science fiction, and you're happy with your job, but there's still not the true fulfillment. You don't feel truly happy in your soul. But when you take that activity, that writing, and you do it because you want to help others, and you do it because you want to feed your children, or you want to make the world a better place. And you see so much suffering and you want to help others. So the key thing is that think about, we talked about with Krishna Kumari, Mother Krishna Kumari, what are your goals? What are your ultimate goals? What do you want? And then think about what you would do, and then do that. Just do that, and don't think, well, that's too difficult or that's too hard, because that's the first step. You can't be happy if you're doing something, you're doing a service that you don't have a propensity for. The second half of that equation is, what is your intention behind your service? And so the description is that there's two men in a room, and they both have knives. One is a doctor. He's going to perform surgery and help save a patient. The other is a thief. He's going to go in, he's going to threaten or even hurt the person and steal their money. So they both were utilizing the same tool. One for good and one for evil. So the intention behind our action. Think about what our intention is. And when we teach in Bhakti Yoga, is having the intention of love. Meaning that through my service, through my activity, I can help somebody. Now, how can I help somebody? Can I give them lots of money? Can I give them opulent food? Or huge castle, cars, everything? But that's temporary, and it's not going to feed their soul. So really helping somebody is when we give them something that's going to truly feed who they are and truly nourish their soul. And so in that way, if we cultivate the intention to serve God first, to serve the Supreme Lord, then every other relationship becomes perfect. Because our supreme relationship is with Him. So if we recognize that, and then the intention behind our activities is to serve the Lord, then everything else, then there's peace, then there's happiness. And our other relationships are perfect too. But the interesting thing about Krishna is that He is the greatest lover, which means He does not force whatsoever. And Krishna has this feature called Paramatma that comes with us everywhere we go. And this is Him in our heart. He goes with us everywhere. And it says in the Bhagavad Gita that He is the forgetfulness, knowledge, and remembrance in man. So as we are desiring to enjoy in the material world, He will allow us to forget. And when we decide we want to turn back, He will give us remembrance, and will give us knowledge of how to come back. And a good analogy is like, there's a kid, and he wants to go out and do something, and his mother says, well, sure, you can go out. And so it's maybe a big backyard. And so the kid goes out in the backyard, and he's doing all kinds of things. But his mom is still like looking through the window and see everything he's doing. But the kid may be too young to really understand. And so he might be doing. So he may think that he's in danger. And so a materialist is very fearful of death. But a spiritualist actually understands that the soul never dies. The soul is eternal. So when we have that understanding, and we know that Krishna is with us in the heart, then we can ask Him to reveal Himself. And then it becomes, initially becomes from theoretical to realized knowledge, where you realize that Krishna is there and that He is controlling everything. So the intention. So we have an intention for our action. And the intention leads to where our attention goes. Because our true currency, our real wealth is our attention. Everything else is given to us. Like our abilities are given to us. Our knowledge is given to us. Our bodies are given to us. The environment to act with our bodies. The ability to go towards Krishna or away from Krishna, the path to go away from Krishna is given to us. We want to go towards Maya or the illusory energy, then that's available for us. So actually the Vedas are described as desire trees. Because the Vedas, anything you want, the Vedas mean knowledge. In these scriptures, anything you want, you can read a Veda and figure out how to get there. It's like a guidebook. And most of the Vedas, 99% of the Vedas are material. How do I have good health? Ayurveda. How do I achieve higher planets? After I leave this body, I can go up. And there's all these different methods of how I get there. And so a tiny fraction of the Vedas is the Vedas of how to totally transcend the material universe and to be elevated beyond the cycle of birth and death. Use our intelligence. We can have some enjoyment here, but if we want eternal enjoyment and we want eternal nourishment of our soul and eternal peace, then we have to transcend. Like I said, that analogy in the beginning is very precarious. So once we can transcend above this, and we can enjoy it at a much higher level. So the chanting is a gift given to us, how to connect with God. So the Lord Himself came. We're going to celebrate Sunday. It's called Gaur Purnim, and it was when Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya, and He propagated. He told us this is the method for attaining God, attaining love of God, attaining the highest goal in life by just simply chanting the holy names of God. So this sound vibration is extremely powerful. We're always taking a constant sound vibration. We don't realize it. All through our days, it's coming through our consciousness. It's so many things. Billboards, people coming past us, going around us, conversations we have throughout the day, dreams, everything. These memories, these impressions on our mind, constantly. So when we switch that sound vibration, like extremely potent sound vibration from material to spiritual, a purely spiritual sound vibration, it purifies the heart. So this is not a religion. It's not a sectarian religion. This is a process of purification of the heart. And by chanting these powerful mantras, this sound vibration that reverberates through our consciousness, cleanses us from the lust, the greed, the envy, the pride, the illusion. And then we really learn how to connect again in a loving relationship, which is what we want, what we're meant for. So this is a process to figure out how to change lust into love. How to think everything is for me, for my enjoyment, to everything I see is for your enjoyment. That's love. That's the difference. That's why when we cook as well, we're thinking about how this can please our beloved, how this can please the Lord. Everything, so any activity, so I was saying your propensity, you utilize what you're good at, what you love to do, the abilities you're given. And if you use whatever that is to serve God, then you'll become happy, you'll become peaceful. But otherwise, Krishna will allow you to forget. If you say, well, I'm not ready yet, I still want to enjoy other ways, that's okay. He's going to let you. But this is the process. This is, when you first meet a devotee, that doesn't mean just someone from the Hare Krishna movement, but a devotee of God, someone who's connecting with God with sincerity. That opens your spiritual bank account. And Krishna says there's no loss or diminution on the path. So once you make some advancement in spiritual life, you never lose it. You may fall away for some time, but when you get back up on the path, you're going to be right where you left off. So there's and then we can feel it as we get in the process. We feel it in our own lives that this process is working. And the most powerful way to make advancement is what we're doing here. This Sangha association with people who are also interested in advancing, elevating. Because it's very few people. Most people, they don't want to hear about it. I don't know if you've ever tried to engage in a spiritual conversation with anybody. Most people aren't very interested. It's because they don't want to be. They're not ready.
Too many video games.
Yeah. They still, yeah, they still have so much faith in the material energy. They think it's going to give them enjoyment. So, I'm extremely blessed to be with all of you, and thank you for coming. Do you have any questions?
Yeah,
Does that mean the devotees are desire trees?
Yes,
'Cause they
yes.
always chant-
Yes. Vajrakapa Tribhyastra Kripasindhi. It's not for respectful obeisances to all Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone just like desire trees and are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. So that we cultivate compassion. That's what a devotee cultivates. Because he sees everybody struggling. You know, and I was just, I talked to two of my sisters yesterday and the day before, and they're, you know, I'm so close to my family, but they're suffering so much. And I'm able to use this knowledge to help them. And it's wonderful. Because, people I care about very much, I want to help them. So I can utilize, even, there's so many, this knowledge is so deep that even if someone's not ready for the full thing, you can help them with little bits of information. Wherever they are, to help them make some advancement. So.
Yeah, this is like, as you said, it's like oasis in this desert.
Yeah, yeah.
Or a spring in spring.
Absolutely.
And I'm thankful I was able to come across this.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. This is my first time here.
You're staying here at the temple.
Yes, yes. I just left the hotel and moved here. Feeling a lot more energetic, and as you said, hanging out with good satsanga is a lot. It can literally change the vision, as you said. Like the guru is the one who will give the and show the path, and literally like you are falling in that well. Analogy seems really good.
And as the days pass, those good.
Yeah.
You're good at fall. So Anything else?
My name is Mukesh Sara.
Nice to meet you.
Thank
Welcome.
my first day as well. Here,
Yeah.
for Krishna Club, but I've been coming to the morning service off
Okay.
and on.
Third part.
Have any of you guys heard of Greg Braden? He's a scientist. He's also studied with a lot of shaman and indigenous people around the world and stuff. So one thing he talks about is how every conversation you have alters your actual physical structure, your DNA, on a molecular level. And so like these higher conversations we have help raise our vibrations and activate different parts of our sleeping DNA and stuff like that. It's really beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. All right, now it's time for prasadam. We have some nice prasadam. Definitely a chocolate covered strawberries.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Thanks to Renita.